Welcome back. Hope everybody's enjoying this weather. I hope everybody's doing well with their heads. I know it's hard at times, but take the wins, take the good days. Don't worry about the bad ones. Today, what we're going to be making is this. A little light lamp for the garden. Easy build, nothing major to it. Where we get supplies from, the little fairy lights we use on the top, Amazon. I think it was about £8 for about a dozen. Mason jars, B&M, £1.50 each. Timber, free, reclaimed, got off my buddy. It's an old door frame, I think it is. Now, shall we get started? No. Cup of tea first. I have to start correctly. Okay, let's get going. Okay, what we're starting off with is a piece of mahogany, either an old door frame, window frame, I don't know which. Oh, a lovely piece of mahogany. Been de-screwed, de-nailed, and I'm going to send it through the planer to nice square up the faces and make it pretty. Now that we have our mahogany cleaned up, we can start measuring out for the lamp. Taking the wee mason jar and placing it approximately 25mm in. We can mark from the other side 25mm. Plus the thickness of the board, which is 40mm. And we'll square that off. That gives us our top piece. And if we go another 25mm down, and say another 25mm again at the bottom, that gives us our upright piece. Now, let me get them cut. There we are, our two pieces for the lamp. Now if I get a bit of sandpaper, I can just quickly clean up the edges. I love working with mahogany. It's such a beautiful wood. There we have there. And now we have our top piece and our back piece. Taking the mason jar, cleaning off the wee sticker, the price. Take the lid, and on the top said 25mm in. That's it there. And what we can do there is mark the centre of where we're going to have our hole. Okay, just double check the measurements. Measure twice, cut once. There we are. Moved it again. Yeah. Engineer's fine adjusting tool. Punch right the way through. Like so. Now take that over to the drill press and drill a hole through. Now the hole only has to be big enough to fit the fairy lights through. So and do the same with the lid of the jar. Now we want the nice imprint to face outwards. So what I generally do is put the lid on, face up, face up so the lid is pointing, or the details pointing out, and then undo the lid. And what we can do there is holding in position, place a couple of pilot holes in. I'm just going to mark one side so I can orientate it back again, and that gives us our securing points for the lid, like so. Now setting the back piece in line, we can now mark across, gives us the width of that piece, but in fact we don't want that, do we? No, we want it going that way, so this sits on top, so mark like so. And on the top piece we can now drill 2 pilot holes. In fact we want it upside down, don't we? So we'll try that again, shall we? See, we all make mistakes. Now we can mark 2 pilot holes in. And I'm using the countersink for dowels. Because what I'm going to do is, once the screws are in, put a couple of dowels in the top. So, as for screws, it's not holding much weight, but I like to put a bit of a chunkier screw in for these. Why do I need that sort of extension on that extension? I don't need it. Oh. There we are. And once again, get the right bit for the job. That's the one. Now, if we place that in position, like so, we can now drive them screws home. Oh, not sure how. And there we have it, our main bracket. Now all that needs to be done with this is a quick clean up, and that'll do. I think we'll see if we can make this a bit more prettier. Yeah, we'll take these back out. Clean them up, and maybe run a chamfer or something decorative around the sides with the router. This is my little router table, and I have a rather larger chamfering bit in there at the moment. Do I want to go with that, or do I want to go with? I think a chamfer will do. So He's back over and give them a sanding. Now, with the sander, there we are, quick sanding. I need to get rid of that pencil. And now we can actually start putting it all together. So starting off with our screws. Place them in. So, orientating our lid and place a couple of smaller screws in. Securing the lid to the top. Like so. Now, all that's left to do is add the fairy lights. These fairy lights, got them off Amazon, came in pack of 12, I think they were about £7.99, £8, something like that. Very inexpensive. All we need to do is unravel them. Battery operated little fairy lights. And feeding through the hole in the top. Like so. With a bit of double-sided tape, leaving the screws upright so that we can get access to change the battery if we need to. Like so. We're going to place this over the top of the hole with the switch facing forward, like so. And what that does, it allows us to get and change the battery and make sure no water gets into our jar. Now all we need to do is feed the fairy lights into the jar. And if we've done this right, the nice pretty lettering faces forward. Now, how we're going to attach this to the fence or the wall. I'm going to use these. They are a keyhole slot. Again, very inexpensive. I got these on Amazon. Again, not expensive at all. And we're going to place that, just one of them, on the back. As I say, it's not holding any great weight. Two screws. Making sure that you're orientated, that the slot is uppermost, otherwise it just falls off the wall. I think we're going to have to pre-drill that. Just a wee nip. Started, and they can be screwed in with a screwdriver. One. Two. Now all that needs is a bit of finish. Depending on the wood you're using, you can paint it, you can stain it. But as I say, the finish is well up to you. Now I'm going to just let that naturally weather. Now, setting it up onto the fence, it's even easier. All we need to do here is one screw, place it where you want the lamp to go, leaving a couple of threads clear, and now we can go and get our lamp. We can get our lamp with our keyhole and slide it on like so. And there we have our little garden fairy light lamp. Simple as that. There you are. Two beautiful mood lighting fairy lights. I like to call them firefly lamps. Easy build. Now I timed myself making the second one, and it took me, without rushing, 15 minutes. So very easy, very quick, and I think they turn out really, really well. Let me know what you think. Again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing, liking, ringing the ding dong bell thingy, and possibly sharing it. I would be most grateful. Again, thank you.